That's the intro to a song demo. We're going to talk about to demo or not to demo today with in regard to songwriter. Songwriting is my first passion. It's what started me down the road to getting involved in the music business. I've got to work with a lot of great people over that time. Got my T. Graham Brown shirt on today. We got to work with T on a couple albums. Great songwriter. Wrote a song called Wine into Water. So if you've never heard it, when you get done with this video, type in the search bar Wine into Water and check it out. Songwriting has changed so much over the years. My dad was a songwriter, and even from his day, he had about 9 or 10 Country Music Hall of Fame inductees record his music. The landscape of that has changed so much, but one benefit I've had personally is to work on the other side of the fence, so to speak, in the business side. You know, songwriters always like to believe that it's all about the song, you know, and that a good song, I used to feel this way, and it was hard for me to get away from it. I used to feel a good song will find its way, even if it's just a guitar and a vocal. So you can see where I'm going with this, to demo or not to demo. But it's so competitive, and there's so many things you can do with a great demo in this day and time. But there's other things you have to balance out in consideration of that. So the short answer to the question, should I demo or should I not demo, is yes, you should do a demo. It's really difficult if your first choice is to try to pitch a song to an artist and get it placed, get a recording. You're going to be competing against a lot of other full production demos. So there's that aspect. And on the other side of that, I've been in listening sessions where artists or producers are listening to songs, and even though someone may have a talent for singing, it doesn't mean they have a ear to pick out songs. I can take some people to an old house and I can envision what it would be if you fixed it up, and some people don't have that ability to envision that. Same way with the song demo, that's a keyboard and a vocal or a guitar and a vocal, and I've met some artists that can hear through that, and you're just blown away by what they did with just a rough demo. But that's the exception to the rule. Not everybody's like that. So a lot of times in listening sessions I've been in with artists when they're looking for material for an album, a lot of the songs that wind up on the album were for two reasons: either it's just a great demo and it just sounded good, or the other reason is that the songwriters were very reputable and had a history of writing, you know, hit songs or great songs. And the other aspect of demos that I'm noticing a lot nowadays, a lot of my writer friends were getting demos done that are just nice demos. They sound, as I've heard the term in listening sessions, that sounds like a record. And they truly are recordings. But what you're hearing more and more is not just that the song is being recorded, but actually a lot of the arrangements, a lot of the musicianship that was on the demo is carrying over to the recording by the artist. It's when those demos come into the studio, they hear that, and not only the lyric and the message of the song is something that they wanted to be involved with, just even the production and presentation of the entire package carried over, and you listen to the record after you get a cut and you go, well, that sounds a lot like my demo. So there's a lot of factors that you're spelling out a lot of things, and you're giving yourself a competitive edge with pitching your songs. It helps when getting demos done to be conscious about your budget on that. I've never been one to spend a lot of money on demos if I can help it, because unless it's your hobby and you want to do that and you won't miss the money, then by all means go, you know, do the best demos you want to. On my side, we're always kind of conscious of how we can recoup that money, and we'll talk later about what you can do with demos so to make them a little bit more multi-purpose and more universal. There's a lot going on today, a lot of changes with what you could do with a great song demo. But you know, you got to do your homework and find a guy. You know, just being in town and being around Nashville for years, you know a guy. You usually know a guy, or know a guy who knows a guy. So we found a lot of ways to get good sounding demos done for minimal cost, that not only can we use them to pitch for placement, we have other purposes. We're going to do a video on that, I promise. Do your homework. If you're looking to get some demos done, if you've got some songs you've written and you want to do that, number one, make sure your song is ready. I have jumped the gun before, been excited about a song. I always say let it sit for a little bit, come back and visit it a week later, sleep on it, a few weeks later, re-sing it, re-look at it. Chances are you might change some lines. friend of mine always tells me, great songs aren't written, they're rewritten. So always check, because once you spend the money on a demo, you do not want to have to go back and re-record and spend money on it. So make sure it's ready to be demoed. And then once you get it to that process, songwriters, you kind of have to be your own producer in a way, and so kind of be looking at the styles and the kind of sound you feel fit this song. I do some homework on that. As I've said in another video, find 2 or 3 references on YouTube of music styles that you like. So if you've got a guy that's going to do your demo for you, that he can have a guide about the musical direction of this song that you want it to go in, and kind of lay out that flow. Construct it in a way that that a regular recording would be constructed, because there are other purposes that this can be used for. So do your homeworks. If you can find a guy in your area, there's a lot of guys online that do demos that are pretty reasonable, and you get back a nice, great sounding demo that you can pitch, compete with, and find other uses for. So to demo or not to demo, my answer is yes. Get the demo done. Make sure your song's ready, and do your homework. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Be able to see more videos as they come up about more topics. If you have a particular topic that you want to see addressed or hear some feedback about, write that in the comments below. See you in the next video.